Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a class video. I'm going to be starting with Paladin and I will be progressing through all the classes that I have available on my character and that I have tested myself so that you guys can have an idea of how these classes work and what can you do with it. This particular guide is going to have everything that you need to know. What type of armor you should be using, what type of weapon you should be using, what is the skills that you have, what they do. If there is a rotation, I would just letting you know what's the rotation that you should be following. Um, and pretty much enchantments, everything that you would need to know in regards to your class for you to get the best out of it. Paladin, as it says here in the character creation screen, is that as a paladin, your divinity manifests through a powerful buff, Holy Wrath. When active, your next spell deals double damage, high risk, high reward. It is supposed to be an RNG class, but it's not so much RNG right now. It used to be very bad, like super, super bad. But recently they did some changes to this class and the class feels way better now. Yes, there is still some kind of a little bit of an element of RNG in the game, with the class, but it doesn't really feel like you would die all the time just because you didn't got a proc, right? So let's start with the attributes. If you open your character screen by pressing either E or C and you hover your mouse over your attributes, you're going to see that strength is your main attribute, which means that all of your skills would scale off of a strength. That's how it works. Simple as that, right? You want to deal more damage, then you need to get more strength. Paladin also is a class that would then need to use heavy armor, and that you would like to go with a strength in your enchantments, since that's going to be what it doing you the most amount of damage. There is some people thinking about like going with Constitution, but again, Paladin is a class that needs to kill fast. The higher damage you do, the faster you kill, and the more that you are going to be recovering. Since some weapons you always want to have Vampiric or Bloodthirst, depending on what is the tier that you have available, right? Which is what is going to allow you to recover some extra damage. For weapons, you play Paladin with a two-handed weapon. It is the best out of any other option available. Yes, you can play with one-handed weapons. Yes, you can play with one-handed weapon and a shield, but I would not recommend doing so because your damage is definitely going to be suffering a lot and you are going to die. I can assure you that you're going to die, or if you don't die, you are going to need to rest way more often than if you're playing with a two-handed weapon. Also, two-handed weapons, if you want to play with one, make sure that you're going with an axe or a scythe. Those two weapons are the ones that has the highest damage mostly. When it comes to crafting weapons, you pretty much can use whatever. But once you get to level 35 and you want to use that level 35 weapon, you definitely have to choose either an axe or a scythe because they would have this increasing damage, as you can see here, plus 3% more damage. And they generally are slower. And when they are slower, it means that they have more damage overall. So the DPS is higher, right? Or the number for damage is going to be bigger, right? In this case, it's 224. A sword or a mace would have lower damage than this. For your yearly, of course, full strength again. And for trinkets, again, whatever you have that give you some strength. But trinkets are really hard to get, so you don't worry about this. Just use whatever you get that is anything, that's give you any use whatsoever. It doesn't matter. Let's go with the skills now. Paladin is a class that has 3 skills that you start with, which is Sanctification, Holy Strike, and Divine Gabble, right? Those skills are simple damage. Sanctification does a little bit of AoE damage, so it does damage to one enemy and then some of the enemies around it, and it recovers mana. So just consider this. Paladin doesn't use mana for the skills, but since Sanctification recovers so much mana, you really don't use any mana. You never run out of mana as a Paladin, which is a really, really good thing to have, right? Aside from that, we have this, which is Blessed Weapon Martyr, which is going to be one of the most important things in the for this particular class. Oh, give me a second. I think I don't have any audio right now. Let's go ahead and have to remove the here. All right. So we don't really have. My bad, my bad. So we have this Blessed Weapon Martyr that you would only bless your main hand weapon, right? So even if you're using 2 weapons, it would not work. It would only be enchanting or blessing the weapon that you have on your main hand. And this is pretty much what is going to grant you the Holy Wrath, and that's where the RNG comes, right? You have a chance that is random and that I have no idea what percentage it is, but you have a random chance of getting a proc of Holy Wrath. And when you get a proc of Holy Wrath, then you can either decide for you to use Deliverance, which deals a lot of damage, or you can use Holy Storm, which deals AoE damage, but it's half the damage of Deliverance. You can also use Sanctification, and Sanctification will deal double the damage if you have a stack of Holy Wrath. The other skill that you have is this one here, Divine Protection. Nothing weird. You start your battle, and if you have Divine Protection, just use it right away, just to add a little bit extra survivability. The monster is going to attack you. They break the little bubble that you have on you, and that is going to heal you a little bit. Right? That's how it works. Let me just add a little bit of music here. The ambient sound is pretty bad. All right. So you also have a stun, and a stun does what a stun does, right? It stuns the enemy. And you have this one here, Divine Fury, which allows you to get a free proc of Holy Wrath, right? So whenever you have this available, I recommend you just start with it. Use it right away. Your cooldowns are very low pretty much with all of your skills, and Holy Storm doesn't even have a cooldown. So long as you have a stat of Holy Wrath, you can spawn this skill doing AoE damage to any enemy around you. You also have a strength buff, which brings your strength to a very high level, right? I have 627 strength at this point. And yeah, so I'm going to just be showing you guys the demonstration here. Again, as I said before, you are going to start with Divine Fury, do your Deliverance, and then go with your rotational skills, right? The Holy Strike, Divine Gable, Sanctification. I'd like to use Sanctification first. Why? Because if you use Holy Strike, and then you use Divine Gable, and then at the same time that you use this, you get a proc, your next move is going to be to use Sanctification, because you already have it in your mind that that's the next skill that you're going to use. And as soon as you use it, you lose the Holy Wrath stack that you got that you could have been using on your Deliverance. So just keep in mind that that's the reason why I'm doing this. If you are someone that can, be very fast and avoid making the mistake and using the Holy Wrath, the Deliverance instead, then don't pay attention to what I'm saying here. The best thing to do is actually to use all of your skills and then use Sanctification, because then you recover all your mana. But again, since you use so little mana, and Sanctification gives you so much mana back, I think that it doesn't really matter. But here we go again. So this is Cyclops, level 38. I'm going to use my Divine Fury. And as you can see, I got another proc right away. So I'm going to use some Divine Fury again. And there you go. Guys, it's dead. Alright, let me just get my screen closer so you guys can see the actual damage. I'm going to use this now for the survivability. Okay, I got the proc. And I'm not able to see the damage that I'm doing with 4,666. Okay, there you go, guys. As you can see, the class deals a lot of damage, and I can kill the enemies super fast. Sometimes you don't get any procs, or sometimes, you're getting these many procs, as you can see here. Since you're doing so much damage, your vampirism, even though it's only 6%, it makes you, do a lot of damage and get a little bit of health back. And since you're killing the monsters so fast, you can move from one to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. This is not something that every class can do. Most classes would actually need to rest a little bit. But if you're using a nice combination of skills, you use your stun on time when you want, when you have the chance for it to be used, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's no rotation really, and you always want to use Deliverance over any skill whenever you have a Holy Wrath stack. You don't really want to use Holy Storm, because Holy Storm deals half the damage that the Deliverance does. Not even when you're in an AoE situation. I'm pretty sure that you would still want to do Deliverance instead. Also, remember, if you're in an AoE situation, you have more than 2 monsters on you, you probably should run, because you're going to die. Even if you're using Holy Storm all the time, you're going to die. Because again, remember, Holy Storm can only be used if you have a stack of Holy Wrath. So if you're very unlucky and you don't get any stacks, you're pretty much dead. Alright, but that's pretty much it. I think there is nothing else to show about this class. As you can see, it's very strong. Damage is very high. And yes, your HP is going to be constantly like half, quarter of your HP down. But it's still, since you kill so fast and you get so much HP back when you use Deliverance, you should be able to kill constantly without having to rest. At some point, yeah, you probably get so low. When I see myself being at like 1k, 2k HP, I normally decide to, sit down. No, I'm sorry, not 1k, 2k. When I see that I have like 500 or 600, my bad, I would then sit down and rest. But I think that's pretty much everything that I want to share with you guys regarding Paladin. Hope that this has been helpful. If you have any questions or you want to add anything else to what I have said, please put it in the comments, and definitely it's going to be very helpful for everyone that is watching this video. See you in the next ones, guys. Peace.